This is Jonathan Glapion. I wanted to kind of do something a little special this issue of Batman, and so I started time-lapse recording my work. I figured it'd be kind of like a behind-the-scenes director's cut. um, the purpose of it, I guess, was to kind of just so you could see the process of a whole page without having to sit a whole however many hours it takes me to work. So it's not really an instructional or tutorial type video, just to kind of walk you through what it looks like. And there's my screensaver. What it looks like for me to do a page or whatever. Right now I'm using a Series 7 Winsor Newton miniature brush. I think the size on this one is I think it's either a 1 or a 2. I don't remember. I loved when I got this page. I loved it because I immediately was drawn to the shapes within the owl, and immediately I just thought about, oh, this would be fun to kind of pull these shapes out with a brush. It's kind of effortless, really. I'm not really going in and copying Greg's shapes that he's doing with a pencil, because I can get a little bit different variations with a brush. There's a little zoom in action just to kind of give you a close up. This page went obviously pretty quick. There wasn't really much to it, but it was a lot of fun though. All the textures that I like, all the different shapes were fun to do. You can see there's no switching tools. There's just that one brush for now, from what I can remember. I don't even know if I if I switched brushes or not. Yeah, there's a switch right there. I used a bigger brush. It's a Raphael 8408, which is a round size 4, I think, just to fill in the blacks. And I'm back to the miniature brush. The Winsor Newton miniature brushes they call them more like decorative brushes, where you do little decorative things with them or whatever. But I like them because it's a shorter hair, and it you don't get that curve, that bend that you get when you use longer hair brushes. It kind of snaps back. I kind of use a brush like I would use a nib anyway. I'm going for sort of that dry brush effect to fade, but at the same time I'm avoiding it being soft. I don't want it too soft. I think it's kind of more interesting when you have a combination soft and hard, like you would in a painting. You need that soft edge, and you need a hard edge too. I splattered with a plastic card, and that splatter that I did right there is using liquid Frisket. I had a lot of fun with those fades. It's kind of the ink I'm using here. Typically, I use Dr. Martin, Dr. PH Martin, Black Star, the matte finish. versus the high carb. The matte is more of a flat, better for scanning. You don't have a gloss to it. It doesn't have any carbon or anything that gives it that sort of lacquer or shiny look. It tends to scan better. Nothing reflects. And it's a lot blacker than the speedball stuff. Switch to the nib. So do some detail work. I used that nib as a deleter. Moru. Stiffer than a 102. Lasts a lot longer. But it's not as stiff as, say, like a 107. It does have a nice flexibility to it. I didn't use a template around that owl eye because I think sometimes when you start using templates on things that should be organic, it gets a little too mechanical. It gets a little weird. There's a little splatter card trick again. It's easier to control your splatter. You shouldn't be splattering with just a toothbrush. That's one type of splatter effect. More splatter. And I'm wiping away the liquid frisket.